This is part 4 on Pear Deck. Our first video covered how to download the extension and pull it up on our Google Slides. Our second video explored the library and how to integrate the slides with these wonderful prompts. And then our third video talked about starting a lesson and conducting a lesson using Pear Deck. This final video is going to be how to access information that you get from that lesson. So the first thing you will do is go to peardeck.com and you'll do the teacher login with your student account again, because remember, the student account is where our district has paid for all the bells and whistles. When you come in, you'll see that we have the Launchpad, which is the home page. And the first thing you'll notice is we have a district library. This is where all of the lessons that our educational technology department have been creating are now housed, and you have access to those through here, but also through our district website. The content orchard is what Pear Deck has already established as lessons. Now, they don't necessarily match our TEKS all the way or the scope and sequence, but you can take them and edit them on your own. The last tab that I really think is the most beneficial is session history, and this is going to be the one that I focus on the most. And this is the one that I mainly use. When you come in, you have active and you have archived. If it is an active lesson, that means that you actually have access to the information. When it's archived, it means it's from a past class and you may not actually need that information anymore. If you would change your mind and you want it back, though, you can always restore it. So if I come down here, because I'm going to use a class that I used to have, if I come down here, I can restore my lesson. And now this Pear Deck session that my students all partook in is going to be available for me to look at for data. So I go to my session history under active, and I'm going to look for that Pear Deck drama review. Right here, it's closed because my students don't have access to it anymore. And then if I hit my dashboard button, this is going to open up all of my slides. And when you look at this, I can see all of my students' responses. So I would go back to the very first slide I have, and I can see each student's name. I can see how they were feeling that day, or this is how they feel. If it's gray like this, it means they didn't answer. And that's fine. We don't make them. But they answered the question, and I can see what their responses were. And I can also see that I had 20 students. If I wanted to reopen this, I could as well. Now I can look and see each person, and for these polls, I see that 18 of my 20 students responded. I have one person who did the wrong response, and then the last was not responded, and I can see who it was. He was actually in the restroom at that time. So I can go through my entire presentation. I can see who all was engaged and was a part of it. I can see who's deleted responses. I can see who did what they were supposed to and who may not have done as well. And I can go through my entire lesson now and see how are my kids actually feeling and doing. And this is really great because now when they did the presentation and they were all a part of it, it was anonymous. But now I can see exactly which student has said what they were saying. And it's really pretty wonderful because now I have that data. When I'm finished, I have the option where I can reopen the session, I can leave it, I can invite another teacher to go back and look at it. If I hit reflect and review, it gives me a link that can be sent to their Google Classroom, or I can just leave the session. And when I do that, it stays here and I can go back and view it again. When you look at this right now, you see that I have 3 that are considered student PACE at the moment. If I decide I change my mind, I can go ahead and just end the session, and now my students no longer have access to it. It's closed. I can also reopen the session, and I can make it student paced all from this one page. Normally what I choose to do when I'm doing my presentation is I like to have this portion of my Pear Deck pulled up on my iPad so I can move around the classroom through Apple TV. And then I have this portion of my lesson, the dashboard portion, open on my computer so that if I see a student is not doing the assignment correctly, I know exactly who did it because I see their name over here. And so I know exactly what's happening in my class at any given moment. So hopefully this helps you out. If you need more assistance, like always, reach out to your TIS and your friendly educational technology team. Thank you so much, and we'll hear from you soon.